Alrighty traders, so we have a lot to go through with you today. Gold, silver, what's going on there right now when it comes to the gold market? Gold could be getting ready for one more final push to the upside. Silver could be already starting. So silver may be leading the way right now when it comes to that there. When it comes down to the mining sector, guys, there is a lot of things happening with the mining sector. The silver mining sector looks like it's starting now, but the gold mining sector as well too. So the gold mining sector could be really shaping up for something really big as well too. There's a lot of dangers that's happening with the stock market right now. So the overall indices, S&P, Dow, that sort of stuff. I'm going to share with you exactly what those dangers are, what to look out for. But on the flip side of what we are talking about here, on the flip side, there could be a really good buying opportunity coming up soon, and why I believe there's an extraordinary Q4 rally coming out of that through there. We're going to talk about USO and the oil and the energy market, what's going on there as right now as well too. There's some really good opportunities happening there, and also my Ethereum trade that I talked about before, and also Bitcoin as well too. Plus I've got some other things I want to talk to you throughout as well too when it comes down to my trading, how I trade the markets, and the best way to actually trade the markets I have found over the last 20 years to trade the market. So guys, quick disclaimer, we're going to get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So traders, I've just put together a brand new package for you. It's a free training walking you through my top trading system that I use every single day. And also I've put together a free trading course for you to really help you out. If you go to johnsfreegift.com right now, go over here and that big green button that says register for the free training plus free trading course, click on that, go register for my free training. I'll teach you all the details, how I trade the markets and the system that I use. And then also you'll get access to that free trading course. Go do that right now, guys, and I'll see you real soon. Alrighty traders, so let's actually get straight into this here. So let me actually start off with the first, I'll bring up this slide here. Now, when I'm doing my analysis, I like to look at things from different views in the markets. Okay, so I used to trade like this. See, like this here. So this is the silver market here, right? SLV breaking out, big break. But one thing I have found is that when really starting to get into a bit more of a professional level in these markets, I have found that when we start to combine multiple time frames, right? Multiple time frames to see where we are in the overall picture, then it really helps me out. And that's where multiple time frames, or what's called, and I really learned this from my very first 7-figure mentor, and that's small picture, big picture, small picture, big picture. And I am liking into that, I'm in liking that to when it comes to life, right? Small picture, what do I need to get done today? Big picture, where am I going overall? Where is this daily action going to build momentum? If I did it today, tomorrow, next day, where am I ultimately going to lead into life, right? And so I'm always thinking about that in my life. One of the reasons why most traders don't do well out of life is because they'll spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years building no momentum in direction, because they'll try one system, 2 months later they'll give up, 2 months later they'll give up, 2 months later, and there's no traction at all. And then suddenly 5 years later, there's no platform for them to actually start to excel in the markets there, right? So that's the reason why I have my charts like this here. I like to have my left chart up here where it gives me like a good 10, 15, 20 years sometimes, right? To see where we are in the big picture. What do I use this top chart up here for? I'm always because I want to see, okay, if we do break out, the market likes to run to previous resistance levels and all that sort of stuff. So I can see here by looking at this SLV chart, guess what? We just broke out of this level here, right? Which was that level right there. And this chart up here is my weekly chart. Okay. So it's my weekly chart looking at that there. This chart here is my weekly chart, but looking at the last sort of 4 or 5 years, this is 1 year worth of daily charts, and this is about a 3 month, okay? 3 month, because this is when I'm looking to enter, but I want to see where are we at right now, where's it likely to go to, and all that sort of stuff. But I can see there's actually a few levels now. There's probably a level through there. That's that level through there, which is around about, if I just bring this down to here, around about that $37 level, right? So that's where, when just looking at the silver market, right? Silver could actually have another 4 or 5% rise before it might find a bit of issues around that level there. But if it does keep going and we start to break up, then we're probably going to continue to have a move up towards this level up here, which is around 45, as you can see, because that's that previous resistance level there, from silver. So now I know that, okay, what's going to come from silver now? Is it going to then just get to 37 and stop? I doubt it. It may go to 37, pause for a little bit, but then I see another big move, and then I ultimately see this move coming up to here, and then ultimately it could possibly even make a new high, right? So that's that first level there. If I bring up another level, as you can see, this last line up here is that ultimate high point. So silver may be getting ready for these levels to be broken at that. Now, how a big move is formed in the markets, just so you know, because a lot of people, or should I say, one thing that I have found in my own personal trading is so for example, silver, right? If silver does make a big move out of the markets, one, it's going to take time, okay? But two, I understand how a big move is really formed in the markets. And how is that, right? If silver is going to make a new high over the next, say, 2-3 months, how is that going to perform really at the end of the day? We might have a little up move, then we get a bit of a pause. Then we have another big up move, right? And then we go sideways for a week. And then we break out and we have another up move, and we break up and then we do something like that. Right? So this is the nature of a beast of a big move. Doesn't matter whether you're trading a 5-minute chart or a 2-minute chart or a 3-minute chart or a daily chart. For me, I like to trade the daily charts. And this is where, like I always say, that long-term moves for me generally take around 1 to 2 months to really unfold. Now, that 1 to 2 months can potentially make me 400%, 500% return on options, right? That means a $20,000 trade can make me over $100,000 over the course of 1 to 2 months, right? That's the top. By the way, that's the type of trading I like to do. I'm not an active trader myself. Right, I am not an active trader myself. Again, in that free training, guys, I talked about at the start of the video, right? You can actually go get access to that. First link in the description there. But the whole thing about that, guys, is that what type of trader are you? I have found the only way for me to stay in the top 1% of traders is I need to have the ability to have big profits and small losses. I have never been able to do that by being active. How do you make a big profit? You get into the markets and then you hold it for a long time. Now, when I say a long time, it's not really that long, right? It's only a month or two, right? But looking at the daily chart, this isn't the daily chart here. Or if you're getting on an hourly chart, you need to hold it for 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 hours, you know what I mean? Like maybe longer. If you're looking at a 5-minute chart, right? Like you need to be able to be in these positions here. But then also on the flip side of what I just said there, you need to know exactly how, and this is where like my trading is really down to rock solid science. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exact day I'm looking to get in. I know exactly how I'm going to manage that trade to manage that as well too. So I know exactly what I'm looking to get in. I know the exact proper trade management techniques I'm using to maximize that potential move, and so on and so forth. Right? There is no like, well, I'm going to get in and I'm just going to hold it for 2 months. Like you see, like there's levels to this game. Where are you right now? 95% of you guys right now are losing money because there is no level at all. There is, I think it's going to go up. Let's go. I'm going to hold it for 2 months because John said you need to be in a trade for 2 months to make a big move. All right, I'm just going to hold it. No, I actually do manage the trade, right? I could be in some of these trades and be in it for 2 weeks and suddenly I need to get out. Or the trade management techniques that I use simply says, no, stay in. There's probably more upside to come, right? So that's I really wanted to sort of share that with you there, because when it comes to these markets here, of neutralizing your journey of how these things work. I think a lot of people are like, oh, here we go, silver, here we go. And then if silver does that and this, and then something like and something like that, you're like, oh man, oh, that's it. I got into the wrong trade, and you're getting impatient, right? You're getting impatient, and then suddenly, it takes off without you. So that's what's so important about trading there. So, and this is where, like for me, guys, as I said before, I don't like to trade a lot. In the last probably 3 months, I've only taken 4 trades. I'm still in one right now. It's Ethereum. I talked about Ethereum, guys, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago now. So you guys know that on this YouTube channel. But anyway, but I've only taken 4 trades. But those 4 trades, one was about a 30% loss, right? The other one was, there was a trade there that did 300% profit, a 200% profit, and I'm in a really big profit right now. So out of the last 4 trades, I had one loss, 30% loss, 300% profit, 250% profit, and right now I'm at about, what's that? I'm at about 200% return on my risk because I just bought this, which was Ethereum, right? I just bought it. Anyway, so I'm trying to share with you guys the purpose of this here and the purpose of understanding that if you are getting into these things and you want big moves, one, understand exactly what you're looking for to get into the trade that says it's likely to make a big move. Don't just say, well, I think this is going to go up. No, I have systems that says that. And then secondly, how do we use good trade management techniques? But looking at the SLV, this could be the start of quite a nice move to come. And the thing with silver is once it starts to move, it really starts to move, right? You guys know silver's a wildcat. Now, if you're trading silver, it's going to be volatile. Right, so you need to accept that and expect that as silver does, because silver is a volatile sort of wildcat from there. So that's what I'm seeing from there. I ultimately do see possibly silver getting up towards that $50 level, but there are levels, as I said before. And if I bring up this chart here now, and I squeeze this chart up, this chart here, if I squeeze this chart up now a lot more, you can see what I'm looking at here, right? There are these levels here now. Level 1, level 2, and again, that's the ultimate high point. That's the first level of resistance. If it breaks through this level of resistance, if it does go through there and we do start that, we're probably going to make our way back up to this next level of resistance. And again, we're probably going to pause through here, right? We're probably going to do a bit of a pause, but due to the fact we've done this here, and now we're just breaking out, it's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. Again, maybe hit there, hold for a few days, go for a big move, hold for a week, then go for another move from there. So this move could take 2 to 3 months to really play out, maybe even longer from there. But if that did happen and we did get up to there, trading options doing that and you did hold on to that could be a really, really, really nice move from there. So that's what I'm seeing from there. Now let's go look at the gold market. So that's the SLV price. If we go look at the GOD, which is the good old gold market, and one thing I'm noticing right now is that gold is continuing to hold here nicely sideways. Now, one of the big mistakes that a lot of traders make when they're trading the markets is they get in on the wrong phase of the market. Let me explain something here. There's a thing called price and time, okay? Price and time. And I learned this from WD again. Or actually, no, I learned it from one of my mentors who learned it from WD again. So the thing that I'm always understanding is that where are you trading? Are you trading in a price phase? Now a price phase is this. Let me bring this up to here. All right. Now a price phase is when the market's actually moving. This is the best time to be looking for a trade, when the market's moving. Okay. Meaning you can see moving. This is now trending or trending here, and we've got a trending phase through it. But notice this phase through here, it's called a time phase, a time phase, a time phase, and we're in a time phase right now. The reason why I'm saying that is it's so important to know what sort of phase you are in, which we are in a time phase. And if you know you're in a time phase like gold is right now, it is the worst thing to do trading opportunities. Now this is trading. If you're an investor in gold, it doesn't matter, right? But if you're looking for a good move and you're trying to get into gold now, it's very, 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 very bad. So you need to understand the phases that I'm going to a bit of a deeper level now than most people talk about. right? Most people are like, oh, but what's the commitment traders report doing and what's the stochastic doing? I'm like, no, look at the phases that these markets are going, right? You can just see it here. There's a phase there, right? And you can see the best types of trades is one going with the market, by the way, not trying to pick a top. Still blows my mind that people try to pick tops when you look at here visually that the best trades are always going with the markets. So that's one, so go with the market. Two, when you're in this sideways volatile, when you're in these sideways, what's called time phases can be quite volatile. And this is where a lot of traders get chewed up. You may be right with gold, but wrong time. You may be right with gold, but wrong time. And so like people are like, oh, gold's going to go back up again, but it may, right? It may. But if you're a trading opportunity, if you're a trader, meaning you're getting in today, and 2-3 days later you freak out, oh my God, oh. Well, don't trade a time phase. Because a time phase is what? Volatile. Look what's happening, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's volatile. You stay away from these phases. I do anyway. Why? You're going to get chewed up. Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? So you're going to get a lot of volatility. Wait for it to break out first, and then it's likely to be starting what's called a price phase, and then you go through a price phase, and then a time phase, and a price phase, and a time phase, and a price phase, right? Wait for that for there. A lot of traders don't understand the different phases, so they're trying to get involved with gold right now, and they're getting destroyed. That's why, if you guys remember at the start of the year, I was getting people warning saying, listen guys, I don't know when this is going to end. And I was warning people all through here to say, this is a really bad time to be looking for a good trading opportunity here, right? And because the greed and so on and so forth. Now the interesting thing is, it's not interesting, it's just human nature. Now the gold bugs are going really quiet. I guarantee you 90% of people that give me shit at the start of the year about the gold market and about these markets rising, guess what? They've lost a lot of money. I guarantee you, right? And the reason why I say that is because I know people started really buying a lot of call options through here. Guess what's happened to the call options through here? You're getting crushed. Volatility, you're getting absolutely crushed. So that's what I see there. That's what I see there from gold and silver. And as you can see here, look at this here. For the last 3 months, look at all this here. This is the last 3 months of action. You stay away from this. Stay away from these types of phases. We're in a time phase. It's called a refueling phase or an energy building phase. And when we're in these phases, it can be quite volatile. You don't know, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Wait for it to start that next, what's called price phase. Then look for opportunities from there, right? But on a nutshell, I do believe looking at, if I bring up this chart up here, this is the weekly chart here. As you can see from this weekly chart, that I do believe that we are developing another one of those phases, sideways, sideways, and sideways, and we're waiting for the moving average to catch up, right? Waiting for the moving average to catch up. This is where one of the best techniques you can use as a trader is, if it gets too far away from the moving average, don't trade it, because it's probably likely to come back to it. Look what's happened now. I've got too far away. And now the moving average is probably going to come back to it. I'm probably going to go again as well too. So hi-ho, silver is probably leading the way with the good old gold and silver market from there. So now what I want to do, guys, is I want to focus more on the mining sector. Okay, so the mining sector right now, guys, is shaping up for something really awesome, right? Let me explain something here. So looking at, say, for example, the GDX. Where I'm noticing the GDX, you can see GDX right now is, let me just bring this through here. All right, this is the last 3 months. So right now, that's that level through there. So right now we're just holding here. And this is what's called, a sideways phase, right? So we're getting a sideways phase from here. And this is really powerful. Right, we're getting that sideways phase through there. So looking at the GDX from here, if the GDX has a move like that from there, right, there's a high probability, that's that breaking, remember I said before, that's that breaking of that major resistance level here on this big weekly chart. If we do, then we're probably likely to race back up close towards that 70 level, because that's that next major resistance level up through there. So on the GDX, for me anyway, personally, I would like to see it just to continue going sideways a little bit more. See, and for me personally, to have a what's called a perfect level 2 type of trade, for me anyway, I want to see this moving average coming up through there. I want to see another 1, 2, possibly maybe 3 weeks, maybe more, and then get the breakout there, which would be a breakout there. And then we're probably likely to see, probably an all-time new high out of that. If we did get that and we got a big breakout, beautiful, 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 beautiful setup there, okay? But right now it's not giving me this what's called a perfect setup. But over the next couple of weeks, I could get a perfect setup. When these perfect setups are just massively high probability, and they are the most highest probability type of trades to trade, that's likely to make a big move. So that's where I love trading the way that I trade. Again, I teach you all that sort of stuff in that link in the description there, guys. But that's the reason why I love trading the way that I do, is because I'm looking for high probability situations or high probability trades that's likely to make a big move. That's what I'm looking for. And this is one of them. But as I said before with the GDX right now needs another couple of weeks for me. This is for me personally anyway. This is the way that I like to trade, is I need a little bit more time, right? I like to see when we're looking at these markets, if I go to this chart here, right? I like to see when the market comes back towards the moving average. The best situation for me, and this is called, the reason why is because it's called fuel in the market. When the market moves up, we have a lot of energy going up, but when the market starts to go sideways, we're starting to build energy. If you go to the gold market, you'll see what I'm saying here. The best trades are when the market spends 2-3 months going sideways towards the moving average, 2-3 months sideways, 2-3 months sideways, right? And then guess what? Then we get a big breakout. Now those breakouts don't look like much, but that was a 20% rise. That one there was another 20% rise, and this one here was obviously a little bit more as well too, right? So if I go back to the GDX from here and go back to this chart here, now you know why I'm talking about here, right? I have a systematic approach, because when we go sideways, that's now building energy, refueling for the next move up, just like I showed you with the gold chart. So I know exactly what I'm looking for on GDX, but I also do know that perfect situation is probably going to take a good 3, maybe another month of sideways getting ready for that. But the big thing that I find with traders is they go, John, a month? I have to wait a whole month for that trade? Yes. But let me ask you a question. What if you put $10,000 on that one trade, and that 10 grand makes you a $50,000 or a $60,000 profit over the course of a 1 to 2 months? Was that waiting for a month for that trade to develop worth it? It is for me, right? And then when you start to trade, a lot more, like when you start to do $20,000 in a $30,000 position, right, in the markets, and you start to do, 300-400% return. Now you're talking about, about 6 figures in the market, 6-figure profit over the course of 1 to 2 months. How are you trading? That's how I like to trade. I like to identify these opportunities and potentially get to that sort of number on my trades, and not get in and get out and look for that. I'm not looking for that short-term move. So for me, looking at the GDXJ is also setting up really nicely. But the most powerful thing about the GDXJ right now is, one, we're setting up the same as the GDX, but the GDXJ has already broken past the previous levels of resistance. As you can see back here, see that level back there back in 2021? Which is also this level here, and this level here, and this level here. But look what's happening now. Now we're finding support. So you know what's coming up here, guys? The gold mining sector right now, especially on the GDXJ, is setting up perfectly. Now what do I need? Exact what I just said there on the GDX. If we can continue sideways here and just do this time thing, right? Go sideways. And by the way, see this green moving average here. See my dotted green moving average, see, on this chart here? That there represents this weekly chart. It's a 24 moving average on the weekly chart, and it represents that. So the perfect situation for me, and it can form, which could then just generate a big profit for me, is what I'm looking at there. And again, this green moving average here, this is the 24 moving average on a weekly chart. So and then I just basically times that by 5, it gives me a 120. And that's the reason why I have that green dotted moving average there. It just gives me a visual representation of where the weekly moving average is from there. So what does that mean? If I go to this chart now, and there's that line from there. What would I like to see then? Now showing you what I've just said. What is this? Remember, this line here is what? This line here is that resistance. It's broke back up and now at this level here. What would be the perfect scenario for me? Right? We're talking about A+ setups. Now, this is where, guys, I'm telling you right now, it's just when these things actually they set up and they confirm, it is the highest probability, most powerful trading setup on the planet that's likely to make a big move. And I am not backing down from that statement. It is the highest probability, most powerful trading setup that's likely to make a big move. It is incredible when you get this here shaping up. Now for this one here, as you can see, see this green moving average? This green moving average is doing something like that, right? Just say it continued up like that. We would need to see, as I said before, possibly another 2, maybe 3 weeks. If we did get something like this here, right, the if scenarios, and then we got some sort of nice big breakout, and then we got all the small volumes down here, small volume, small volume, small volume, and then on this breakout bar, you had something like that going on, like a real big volume spike, and had this breakout bar, and we had this here. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look, talk about high probability, massively high probability, really powerful in liking to potentially make a really big move. Now, if that did set up, where was it likely to make a big move? Well, if we go back to this chart here, look at this here. The next resistance is up there around the $100 level. Ooh, so let's do this here. So if we did get that, see, this is where, like, guys, I'm telling you right now, this is what I'm scanning the markets for all the time. How do I identify these opportunities? Because I'm going to have my losing trades, and not every trade's going to be a profit. But how do I find these opportunities, right? How do I look for and scan on these opportunities? And then my job is this, okay, it's starting to set up now, aka sideways. There could be something big coming up soon. Make sense? So we see that through there. And so now, as you can see, that next resistance level is up through there. What if we did get, let's actually do this again now. That's through there. And you got this, just continue just doing this here. Not much going on, not much going on. And then you got a big breakout bar like that. This thing is about to make a massive rocket ship to the upside from there. And it is huge probability. So what do? I'm now put that onto what's called a watch list, right? And then I'm now watching that setting up, setting up, setting up. Make sense? Absolutely just amazing. Absolutely just amazing. Now, let's go down. So that's the GDXJ from there. Let's go look at the SIR. So the SIR right now is indeed starting to, I was just doing some analysis from you, right? Has already gone sideways, right? And now we're breaking out to the upside and we're getting a bit of volume here. So the silver mining sector, after doing nothing for many, many, many years, look at this here. All this major level of resistance that's done here could finally be coming to an end. And what I mean by that is that now we're breaking up. If we do gain a little bit, if we do start to gain some momentum over the next couple of days in the mining sector, we could really, or in the silver mining sector, we could start to see some really big moves to the upside. On a short-term level target, that short-term level target is just up here, right? So that's that target there. So that's where I believe the short-term target's going to be. So a nice good 10, 15% rise from there. Then it's probably going to pause. And then, actually, you know what? I'll do it on this screen here so you can see what I'm looking at. Right? So we're probably going to get to that level there. And then we have this ultimate high point up there. Now, what is this ultimate high point up here? How did I get that level? If I go back to here, look at this here. If I keep this last line up here, which is around the $80 level, is where? It's just that next resistance over there, right? But look at this here. There's actually no. This is likely to be a bit of a vacuum, because there's actually nothing stopping it behind it, right? There's actually big move. So we may get a big move up. We may get a move up, then a bit of a pausing pattern for a week or two, then a breakout, and then a move back up towards that $80 level. So the silver mining sector could be on the verge of something quite amazing from there. So let me see if I can fix this up from here. So that's the SIL. It's already breaking out from there. Let's go look at the SILJ. But the SILJ is actually slightly different, right? Now, looking at reference points on the SILJ, it's actually slightly different, as in like the next resistance level is up through there, right? So this is where we could start to see a nice rise out of this, maybe 20% rise. And then I don't have any other references points behind that, especially when looking at the past. So it's probably going to rise, just like with this this looks like that silver market, the silver and the silver mining sector is really heating up from there. So, but I don't have any references points apart from that, because this is now on my chart anyway. This is now going back to all-time new highs from there. I wonder if there is there another level from there? Let's go to, let me bring this, you know what, let me bring this one up here. So this is the SILJ, this is the SILJ, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, yep, okay, cool. So this is now going back. Okay, so now I've got a bit more references points from here. So this is that level, first level there. Okay, it's pretty much the same type of thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's the same thing. It's nothing new. So I was just looking at this bit of references point from there. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys, when it comes to the silver mining sector. Now, guys, one thing I want to do is I want to walk you through the actual stock market. So let's actually walk through the actual stock market itself, and why the stock market is actually verging on a bit of a danger territory. We actually could have one more little push to the upside, but we're starting to get we're still in this danger territory where it's actually starting to be a little bit of greed in the marketplace, and I believe there's a shock that's going to come out of the market that's going to send this market down. And why I say that is, for one, if we have a look at the fear and greed index, right? So this is the fear and greed index. We're still at extreme greed, and as you know, just from a probability perspective, right? Most traders are fearful down here and they're greedy up here. Right? But as you can see, right, when people are fearful, be greedy, because then the market rises, right? And then when people start to get greedy, the market goes down. When people start to get fearful, the market goes up. When people start, it's just a dun overall. Makes sense? So now looking at this level from here, you can actually see that we're actually pointing up through here where we may have one more push to the upside. So for intraday traders, and if I let me bring up my futures platform now. For the intraday traders, there could be something really nice setting up here soon when it comes to the Dow Jones futures level, right? So what I mean by that is that if we have a look at this through here, this is the 4-hour chart, right? We're possibly going to go sideways, and then possibly going to start to see another really nice move back up again, right? So another nice move back up again from here. And the reason why is because we're actually at all-time highs from here, as you can see. So this all-time high point up here is probably going to be bested today, but it's going to be a false move, right? It's not going to be a big move. But on an intraday basis, on say a 15-minute chart or something like that, there could be a nice trade here. So if we do break, which we're probably going to now, if we do that, then that's probably going to be the end. If we see that, guys, that's probably the signal for me to say, you know what? We are now getting close to the top of the markets, because I don't know exactly when that's going to be. Short-term top, right? Then we get the pullback from there. We have a move up, a nice little 5-10% correction, and then away we go again from there. Make sense? So That's what I'm seeing from there when it comes to the actual the Dow Jones. The Nasdaq has already made a move back to the upside. And while we've actually had a really big move, one thing that I always like to do, and I'll bring this screen up here for you. If you just look at every single big bull market, notice one thing here, right? Even when we do go through these big phases, right, we eventually go through this. This here is a roughly 2 to 3 months of sideways, and we wait for the moving averages to start catching up, and then it goes again. And it goes again, and it goes again. Same thing through here, right? We actually started going up, got to it, we had a nice move, but then we eventually go through a good 2-3 months of sideways and waiting for the moving average catching up, right? So the moving average starts to turn around. The reason why I'm saying that is that if you notice that, then that's probably what's going to happen. So if we do get even just a little bit more upside here, we need to wait for this moving average to catch up here. There's a high probability over the next 2-3 months that we're getting towards the end of the move. And secondly, we're probably going to do something like this here and then start to pick back up again. Makes sense? So you can see if you just see the way the market operates, you know what happens here. So you can see for a big bull market to start, we need the moving average starting to be strong trending. If we're going to go through another big bull phase, we need a strong trending moving average. Makes sense? And you do know, as you can see, right, the market will, after a point in time, after going up for quite some time, have a good 2-3 months. So yes, we've been going up for quite some time, and as the market, we're probably going to have a good 2-3 months of sideways drop. Let the moving average start to catch up, and then that's why I'm saying this third quarter is probably going to be sideways, choppy, that there. But on the fourth quarter, I do see it's likely to start to see the moving average. Same for the S&P 500, right? And again, if you're just looking at bull phases, if we just see how the markets work, through a big bull phase, we see the moving average catch up. After a big move, we have, again, the weekly chart. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, that's about 3 months worth of sideways movement, right? Same thing from here, right? Low, higher, low, big move up. We get the moving average coming down through there, and away we go. And then this big bull phase here is when the moving average is going up through there. Big bull phase. So if we're going to go through another big bull phase, the moving average is going to start to come. The moving average right now is coming down and it's flat. We need the moving average to be doing that. And that means, once again, moving average comes up like that. We might have another week through there, and then we have 2-3 months of cooling off. That is the danger right now when it comes to the S&P, is because we're going to have that cooling off, what's called a time phase in the market, and we are going to see that from there. Now, one thing I do like, though, is on the real big picture here, right? The real big picture is one market that I'm focusing on. And again, for me, traders, I am not an active trader. I'm not looking, what sort of trade can I do to make money today? No, I'm not doing that. I'm looking for opportunities throughout the year that I can get in, hold it for a month or two, and have a really big profit off that one trade. Why? Because if I can have really big profits, right? And again, I referenced my last 3 closed trades. I'm in one good trade right now. My last 3 closed trades, one was a 30% loss utilizing options. Then the next was a 300% profit and a 200% profit. So if I had a 30% loss on my trade, a 30% loss, but then a 300% profit and a 250% profit, 1, that's a pretty good win-loss ratio. But 2, that's how I'm going to win the game this year. It's by being that. So I could now actually have 2 or 3 or 4 losses in a row and still actually be positive. Makes sense? So this is this for me personally, guys, and you guys, if you guys are doing really well, if you guys are trading really well right now and you're making a lot of money off the system you're utilizing, if you're making a lot of money right now and you're not even following any rules, you're destroyed. You're going to get absolutely just hammered by these markets, I promise you, because you cannot trade based off thoughts or feelings. The only way for me to get ahead is actually utilize the actual systems and strategies from there. So, one thing that I really want to sort of share with you here is one thing I've been really focusing on. Let me bring this up here. Has been the Russell market. And so for me, once again, guys, the reason why I just had that little spell just then with you, like that little talk with you just then, is because I know for the Russell, it might take another good 2-3 months to build up, but I need to keep an eye on it. Because if it does break, Russell could make me six figures, maybe multiple six figures on a trade if it sets up over the next couple of months. Do you see what I'm saying here? Like that's what I'm looking for from there. I'm looking for these big profit opportunities, because I want to be in a situation, guys, at the end of the year that even if I'm 50-50 right, if I can have 20 and 30% losses on average and 300% return on average, even if I'm 50-50 right, which I'm not, I'm a lot more higher than that, right? I'm going to have a good year. See what I'm doing is I'm setting myself up for a good year. How are you approaching the year? Are you approaching the year where I want to trade every day because I want to? It's probably not going to be the best thing there, right? So looking at the good old Russell chart here, what do we have here? Up, and then we have this move through here. If we can get something like that going on out of the Russell, we're probably likely to see a really, really, really nice move to come from there out of the Russell. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about on the next thing I want to talk to you about is the oil market. And this is something that I've just noticed with people, especially with the oil market, right? I was starting to get bearish out of the oil market down here. Now, I did say is that if we do continue to hold here and then break down, then we're likely to see some follow through. But this is the thing as a trader. This is what gets people so butt hurt. I was bearish down here, right? And I was looking for me to actually have a trade. By the way, I didn't trade oil at all, so I didn't lose any money because I actually didn't get my trading set up. I was looking for a breakdown from here, then we're going to get the start. But it never happened, right? And this is what people get so butthurt about, is that they go, oh, John, you're an absolute moron. Back in April, you were saying the oil crash is coming and it didn't happen. You know what? You're right. I didn't get that right, right? But this is where, as a trader, we need to bend and mold with the market. Bend and mold with the market. Well, you just need to follow a trading system, but that's hard for 95% of you guys. And that's the reason why trading's so hard for you guys, right? Trading so hard for people is because there's no following system. But anyway, but look at this here. So yeah, I was starting to get bearish down here. Why? Because the trend is down. High, lower, high, lower, high. Right? But do you notice I stopped talking about oil down here and I started focusing on other markets because it wasn't giving me any good setups. Then we started to change. Now we're starting to trade through. Again, I'm not in oil right now. Low, higher, low, higher, low. I'm not in oil right now. Why? Because it hasn't given me my trading setup. Are you getting into oil right now because you think it's gonna bottom? Again, if you want to be part of the 95% of traders who continue to lose money overall, then do that. But for me, even if I think oil is going to do something, I'm not just going to get in based off that thought. What am I going to do? I need my trading setup. You know, the trading setup I look for every day, right? This is the reason why the 1% are only the 1%, right? The 1% have that one thing in common. I have a trading pattern that I trade. Does oil have that trading pattern? No, not for me right now. Okay, so I can't trade it. So even if I'm using general tech analysis of trend analysis, guess what? I simply can't trade it. So therefore, wait. But on a general basis, I am waiting for some good opportunities because depending on what actually happens here, either up or down, there could be a really nice move to come and I might be able to get a good trading setup out of it. And that may be to the upside from here. I know a lot of people, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of people are thinking oil go down because of drill baby drill. And that's the same for the USO market as well, right? Look what's happening with the USO market, which is just, to me, I love when they see this, guys. See this here? I love it. I love it. I love it when I see this pattern here. See that pattern there? I love it. I love it. I love it when that happens. So with the USO market, there could be a really good opportunity from here because the USO is doing what? Lows and higher lows. We're starting to get this trending in and we're starting to actually get this here. If we start to do something like this, guys, and we break out, guess what? No. Oil is about to go through an extraordinary quality move back to the upside, which might then start to add a bit of an inflationary situation to your market there. And the last thing I want to cover with you guys today is the good old Ethereum. So Ethereum for me right now, guys, is definitely underway. Again, if you've been watching me now for the last few months, you'll know that I wasn't really talking about the crypto market much, but I've been really honing down on it because it was a trade for me, and I started getting involved with it back a while ago, right? And now, ever since then, I got started getting involved with it down here. I'm like, this thing's setting up. Now, why did I get into Ethereum? Right? Why did I get into Ethereum? Because it's my trading setup, right? It's actually my trading setup. And look at this here. Whenever we go through these sideways phases, we tend to get big moves. Look at this here. Down, we went sideways for a few weeks, and then a nice big move. Up, sideways, we're likely to go big move. Like I'm telling you right now, guys, again, that first thing in the description there, when you actually see my trading system, you'll see the reason why, like one, trading's not that complicated. It's not about, you know, I'm still seeing people going down this path and your ego is getting involved. Well, John, the government said this and the government did this and the printing is doing this and therefore this. You're making things too complicated, right? Stop it. Well, actually, you know what? Most of you guys are not going to stop it, right? Because you think, which is, again, how are you thinking? I do really well at trading right now, guys, because I just understand that most of that stuff out there is fugazi, and a whole bunch of... And if I go to the markets and I just trade based off my trading setup, that has me a good probability of making a big move. If I can focus on that throughout the year, then I have a really good year. And all the other stuff, inflation, Trump, what may or may not happen, it just doesn't matter, right? And so therefore, right now, Ethereum is actually breaking up. And where I started getting involved with Ethereum was this one here. Now, let's see if you guys can guess this, right? If you guys have been watching me now for a bit of time here, look at this here. Remember I said before, I always like to wait for this sideways pattern. What is this? Sideways, then we got the breakout. I wonder where I got involved with it. A little pullback and a big move to come. And now, that's that 4-hour chart. And now from this daily chart perspective, now we're doing this level here. So Ethereum looks like it's about to start to make a move back up towards that 4,000 level. Now, it may not happen straight away because looking at this weekly chart, we're starting to get a bit of a flattening of the moving average, slightly flattening of this chart up here. So if we just, let me just bring this over here so I can get a bit more scaling for this level here. So what may happen is it may not go straight up. It can go straight up, but we may actually go through a bit of a pausing pattern here. Right, so we may continue up for a little bit more from here, and then we may go through a bit of a pause, just to wait for this moving average to catch up. So there, we might have another good week from here, then we might go sideways, and then a break up. Ultimately, I do see the 4,000 level, but how does that happen? Does it go straight up, or do we go up and then pull back and then up through there? So that's what I'm seeing there from Ethereum. Ethereum is just a beautiful, beautiful setup. Again, I got involved with it back down here around that 2,500 level, around about there, 2,500, 2,600 level. And so far, ever since that has happened, the market has moved close to 19%. So not a bad setup from there, guys. Now, the one thing I'm noticing about Bitcoin, guys, is this. There's actually Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin having a nice move to the upside, guys? Why is Bitcoin having a nice move to the upside? Say it with me, right? Say it with me. Oh, because it's what? It went up, it went sideways, right? Again, if you've been watching me now for quite some time, you would know this sideways is called fuel. Now we're breaking up. The best trades are after when the market goes sideways, right? Look at this here. Look at this here. I call it the L-shaped pattern, by the way. The L-shaped pattern, right? Market goes up. From there, just goes sideways, L-shaped pattern. We get the breakout, we get the big move, right? That's the hourly chart. The daily chart, so on and so forth. So we're possibly going to start to make our way back up. Right now we're getting a bit of a breakout from here. So we're probably going to have a nice move back to the upside from here. So, but as this is moving up, guys, I'm starting to see a lot more the greed and all that sort of stuff coming back into the Bitcoin market from here, right? So really nice big breakout from here. So I wouldn't be too surprised. Just this, actually, if I just do. Yeah, there's actually a danger around the crypto market, guys, especially Bitcoin. Yeah, so I'm just looking at this level here. Again, it's just where we are right now from a sentiment point of view. Meaning, I'm just seeing there's a lot of greed that's starting to kick into play back into these markets from here. So we are getting a breakout here. So I do expect more upside to come out of this level. I see, Ethereum and all that sort of stuff start to make a really nice move to come from here. If I'm looking at that through there, and then I clone myself, or I clone it, should I say, from there to there, then we're probably going to make our way back up to that level through here, maybe 120 or so level, and then we might get another bit of a pullback from here. But just remember, guys, this is the reason why getting into the markets, for me personally, as this market's moving up through here, I don't like to get involved with it. But if we've gone sideways for a while, as we start to break out, I like to get involved with it from that perspective from there.